Hey everyone, today I'm going to go over the lab final. First thing you're going to want to look at is the schedule. So this is the schedule for the lab final. It has the student assigned numbers and the time slots for the lab final. The schedule is subject to change, so keep an eye open and communicate with your lab partners. So if you see the schedule change, let them know that you saw it change so that everyone can look at their new number and time slots and everything. You only have to be present for your time slot based on your assigned number, which we'll open this up and take a look at it. So if you are Olivia Silva, your assigned number is 7, and students 7 through 12 will complete questions 21 through 40 from 5:10 to 5:40 p.m. So you just have to find your name and then find your time. If you're Cindy Nava Lescas, then your assigned number is 68, and you will complete questions 221 through 240 from 3:30 to 4 p.m. on November 29th. That's all this schedule has. Again, you only have to be present for the time slot based on your assigned number. So if you're Steve Thomas, then you only have to be present from 5:10 p.m. to 5:40 p.m. on November 28th. But keep an eye open because the schedule might change. So just check it the night before and the morning of your lab final just to make sure. But that's how it works. Answer sheet, you have to print this out and write your name, provided number, and the question numbers before showing up to the lab final. If you show up without an answer sheet or without filling your answer sheet, then you will be sent away. You also cannot write anything extra on the front of your answer sheet. If you draw a dinosaur next to your name, just don't do it. This is the answer sheet that you have to print out, and you'll write your name, Ethan Dancho, right there, and your provided number, 57, and then you'll write the question number here. So the question number will be something like, I don't know, maybe like, all right, let's look. If you are number 57, then your question number 57, you'll be doing questions 181 through 200. So if you're number 57, then you'll write 181, 182, 183, 184, 185, 186, 187, 188, 189, 190, 191, 192, 193, 194, 195, 196, 197, 198, 199, 100 on your answer sheet. Here is an example of a filled out answer sheet. You write your name, your number, and then the questions associated, and that's it. The smallest question goes here, last question over here, in the same order as this. I'll come back to specific directions. How to prepare. No formula sheets or anything of the sort will be provided during the lab final. Instead, you may handwrite anything you like on the back side of your answer sheet. Nothing extraneous can be written on the front side of your answer sheet or you'll be sent away. So you can only handwrite anything you like on the back side of your answer sheet. On the back side. Again, do not write anything on the front side or you'll be sent away. Handwritten consists of only pencil, pen, marker, or crayon. Writing on your iPad and then printing it does not count as handwritten. Writing on paper, scanning, and printing does not count as handwritten. You can only write with pencil, pen, marker, crayon directly onto the back of the printed answer sheet. If the backside of your answer sheet is not handwritten, you will be sent away. So don't try any fancy little gimmicks to do crazy small handwriting. Just write with your actual hand with pen, pencil, paper, or crayon marker on the back of your answer sheet. If you do not, you will be sent away to go print another answer sheet. And if you're not there by the time your lab starts, your group starts, then you will receive a 0 for the lab final. So make sure you have your answer sheet printed with your name on it and your numbers listed by the time that you are scheduled to complete the lab final. So let's see. Stephanie Maleo must be there from by 11:10 a.m. If she is not there by 11:10 a.m., she will receive a 0 on the exam because she will begin at 11:10 a.m. Along with everyone else from 37 to 42. You may be tested on anything included and or related to information given throughout the course. This includes but is not limited to background information, background videos, pre-labs, and lab reports. So just make sure you know your stuff, everything we learned throughout the year. The one hint that you can get is that the lights will be on during the lab final. This prevents some experiments from being done. That's it. Bring a calculator that isn't your phone. You might want it for some of the questions. If you don't have a calculator and you have to do some calculation, you will just have to do the best you can by hand. Even if it involves some decimals or large numbers, just do the best you can by hand. You will not be provided a calculator, and you will not be allowed to use your phone. Bring a calculator. If you forget, do the best you can by hand. Okay, now we get into specific directions, exactly how the lab final will work. So the rest of that was all how to prepare for the lab final. What should you do beforehand? Now exactly how the lab final will work. Each table will have a different challenge. Tables 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 will have equipment, or will have questions, and you record your answer on your answer sheet. Table 4 and 5 will have equipment and directions stating what to do with the equipment, what data to measure, and what to record on your answer sheet. So this is the lab room. Here is table 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So table 1 has 5 true or false questions. Table 2 has 5 multiple choice questions. Table 3 has 5 fill in the blank questions. Table 4 has 1 experiment. Table 5 has 1 experiment. And table 6 has 3 generic questions. At table 1, each true or false question is worth 10 points. That totals to 50 points. At table 2, each multiple choice question is worth 10 points. That totals to 50 points. At table 3, each fill in the blank question is worth 10 points. That totals to 50 points. At table 4, the 1 experiment question is worth 50 points. At table 5, the 1 experiment question is worth 50 points. At table 6, the 3 generic questions, each one is worth 17 points. That totals to 51 points. That gives you a total of 301 points on the lab final. So it is possible to get over 100 on the lab final. But not that 1 out of 300 is a lot, but it's possible. At tables 4 and 5, there will be directions on the experiment. So you will have directions on what to, there'll be equipment for you to set up, and there'll be directions on do this, and then measure this, measure this, measure this. You will not have to know any, you don't have to memorize the procedures on lab 2 or anything like that. The directions on what to do will be at the table. So at each of these tables there is a paper, right? At table 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, there's a paper stating the directions and the questions and all that, and all you have to do is follow it and then write your answers on your answer sheet. Do not write your answers on the table, on the paper that's at the table. That paper at the table is for everyone to read when they get to that table and they answer those questions. So here you see a person 25 through 30 just entered the room. So before 25 through 30, we had people 19 through 24. After they finished, they left 25, and then when they're gone, I switched out the questions. So now there's problems 81 through 85 at table 1, 86 through 90 at table 2, 91 through 95 at table 3, 96 at table 4, that's an experiment question, 97 at table 5, and 98, 99, and 100 are at table 6. And then people 25 through 30 come into the room, and then they begin answering these questions. And they already have their answer sheets filled out, and then person number 25 is answering their true or false questions, writing on their paper. Person number 29 is answering their second experiment question, writing it in that second experiment question box. So it would be number 29 would be writing their answers in here right now. Who is this? Person number 30 would be writing their answers in these 3 boxes right here for the generic questions, because at the generic question table, you have 5 minutes at that table, and then you switch. And then you spend 5 minutes at this table answering questions, then you switch. 5 minutes, then switch. And by the time you go through all tables and fill out all your answers, that'll be 30 minutes, and you are done with the lab final. So you just have to be there when it's your turn to enter the room, and you have to be there to finish the lab final. It's not super complicated. You just have to know your number and know which table to start at. So there's always 6 people. The smallest number is at table 1, largest number is at table 6, and the rest are laid out in order. That's everything you have to. These generic questions, they're the questions that I hated when I took physics. They'd be like questions like, what law states that voltage is equal to current times resistance? And the answer would be Ohm's law. Or what who is the person who made the equation F equals ma? And then the answer would be like Isaac Newton or something like that. And that's what you're going to do at the generic questions table. Again, for the experiment questions, you do not need to memorize any procedures to any of the previous labs. Knowing how to do those labs will well prepare you for the experiment questions, but only because if you don't know how to, if it says connect the oscilloscope to the function generator, if you don't know how to connect an oscilloscope to a function generator, it's game over, because that's what the directions say to do. So in that sense, it is good to know how to do the labs that we've done throughout this course, but knowing the exact procedures to any of the specific labs will be entirely useless for you on the day of the lab final, because the directions will be provided for this brand new experiment at this table. You will not have done this exact experiment before, but knowing how the physics works and how to set things up and how to do the previous labs can prepare you well to do these experiments. Lab final is not super hard. You should not stress yourself out. Just make sure you know how it works, and make sure to print out your answer sheet and bring a calculator beforehand, and then write stuff on the back of your answer sheet as well. Also write in your name, provided number, and question numbers before showing up to the lab. Also, make sure to take a look at the lab schedule and know your number and your time slot. That's everything. Best of luck. If you have any questions, email your IA ahead of time. If you email your IA on the day of, they might not respond in time. Good luck.